Welcome back, guys. I've got the wash test results that you guys have been waiting on. I did want to mention that I washed this in my washing machine normally like I would do. I washed it on hot. I didn't flip it inside out, and I also dried it on hot. So again, nothing I would not normally do with one of my t-shirts, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the actual results that we did. So I tested this 4 different ways for you guys. The first one was gonna be a low pressure test, and I did this for 10 seconds and I pressed it for 2 times. The second one is gonna be a high pressure test. I also pressed this one twice at 10 seconds each. Third test is gonna be a high pressure test, and I pressed this twice at 15 seconds each. Lastly, just to go overboard and to hear all your comments from our first HTVRONT test, I pressed this at 15 seconds, I pressed it 3 times, and I used an added pad just to hopefully increase the pressure. So you definitely wanna see the end and see if that helps. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results on the t-shirts so we can see exactly how the results came out. All right, here are the 4 shirts. Let's go ahead and lay them out. I'm gonna start off with the first test results. This is the empty one, so this is the one that I pressed on low pressure, 300 degrees. I did actually at 10 seconds and I pressed it twice. Again, I'm gonna start off from the top. I noticed that the area is cold, or the heat press is coldest on the top. So this area had the most difficulty in transferring through. So you definitely need to be careful when I was dealing here. But as you guys can see closely here, you guys start to see some wrinkles. This is not from the skull. This is actually the wrinkle from the transfer. This is because there was not quite enough pressure. And what happens is when the shirt normally shrinks, or the transfer will prematurely wrinkle. So although there are some slight lines that run through the transfer, I do see a lot of pre-wrinkling. So look at that, guys, the flowers. It's mostly easy to notice in the lighter areas. And this is a big area right here. The bottom of the skull, very, very wrinkled. Very, very wrinkled. So wrinkling that's happening right there. You see that right there. I don't think that this is gonna last a very, very long time. Maybe after another 2 washes at max, I think that it's gonna start wrinkling even some more and maybe even peel off. Some of this area, very, very thin. I start to see some, not cracking, but also some minor wrinkling that's happening right here. And then during the application process, again, some of these letters did not go through all the way as far as transferring. It could be for 2 reasons, either a cold spot on the top and the bottom, or overall just a lack of pressure that's happening. So with the low pressure for DTF, I definitely would not recommend it. I don't think that this is the way to go. Maybe if you're working on a canvas bag, it might work, but I don't see another reason to use a low pressure. So let's take a look at the second shirt that we washed. This one right here is going to be 300 degrees, remember, not 7. This is going to be a 10-second press. We did this at heavy, heavy pressure. So this is normally what I would press our t-shirts at with any machine. So again, 7 to 10 seconds, double press, heavy pressure. Let's start off from the top. So again, during application, I know this was a hard part to transfer through. I start to see a little bit of wrinkling into the white area here. Not a ton, but there is some. And if you guys look back right here, there is some slight wrinkling that's happening. You still see more of the vertical lines that's happening here. So that is a good thing. The lines are running through, but there is more wrinkling than we would like. And especially right here, it is improved. You guys can see right there, it is improved, but there is still wrinkling that's happening. And then the fonts right here in all white, everything transferred through. So this was adequate pressure for something like this right here. Still not the best. I still see some wrinkling that I did not love, but that's that. All right, this is the third test that we did. We increased the time that was happening to 15 seconds. The top is better. Still some areas on the top that did not press all the way through. Again, this is gonna possibly be the cold spot that's happening on the very top. But as you guys can scroll down right here at this angle, it looks good. You see the lines, they run down the garment. Let me try to get you guys a better view with the lighting, but there is good lines that are running down the shirt vertically. This shows that it was embedded well into the fabric. So even though the shirt shrank, it's pressed down enough that I see those lines. There was an area, not sure why, but this chin area of the skull seems to be the worst area for some reason. You see a little line right there that shows a premature wrinkling, but overall it is not bad at all. All the fonts, everything pressed through. This is pretty good for our pressure test. This is gonna be the Overkill one, the one that we did heavy pressure, 15 seconds, and we did it 3 times. So this one took us a few minutes to actually press, which is normally longer than what we like to do. I'm just trying to overcompensate and try to make the best results possible. Now everything went through right here. This one even solved that little area that the other press had an issue on, because I think this is the pad. The bigger pad actually was able to give more pressure to the very end, but I still think that there's a little bit of a cold spot up top, but not bad at all. Now the lines here are very, very predominant. You do see that here running down the shirt, but there is a little bit of wrinkle that's happening. This is happening more than with the other t-shirt without the padding. So I don't know if it's the padding that's causing the issue of the premature wrinkling, but it seems to have been doing better without the pad from what I see in this initial test. Corners are all good, letters on the bottom are all good, but mostly I'm gonna turn this on the side. You guys can see the lines that run through. It's pretty good, especially the lighter areas. Hard to see, but there are lines that run through the fabric, and that shows it's good. So let me go ahead and open up the other shirt, and I'm gonna go ahead and really try to compare again. Let me go ahead and fold this shirt in half. I kind of want to try to bring it close as possible so that you guys can see a comparison between the two. So these again are the best results here. The right side here is the one without the padding versus the one with the padding. So it's very, very subtle. You can barely tell, but what my eyes can see is I see more lines on the unit without the padding here. So that's what I see there. All right, now for our superstars rating, we're gonna rate this between 1 to 5 stars. We're gonna go through a couple criteria that we use in order to benchmark this to see if this is a good budget press for you guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the sturdiness. Now, out of 5 stars, we're gonna go ahead and give this 4 stars. This does weigh 48 pounds, so it is a nice chunk of machinery here. And even though this unit is pretty heavy on plastics, it's overall pretty solid in my opinion. Now the slide out is super smooth too compared to a lot of slide out that they have out there. They do increase the gap here, so you can definitely fit some thicker material like a hoodie or anything here without having to worry about it. It is a good amount of space, and you can also flip the hoodie the other way around if you need to. One of the things I also noticed is that they have really good slides here. It doesn't really slant like some of the slides that I've seen that extends all the way. It starts to slant once it's out here. I know that this is not a big issue because when we did the dollar bill test, it was actually the best up top here versus the back. So they did not a bad job on the slide piece right there. The reason why I deducted some points from the sturdiness is that I did hear that extra bit of clamping sometimes when we press at 170 pounds. I'm pretty sure it's the overall construction and the mechanics of it that's creating that extra pressure, which is good, but I just don't know the durability and how long that's gonna last when you keep hearing that crank over and over again after you start doing 500 to 1,000 impressions. I just don't know, but from what I see so far on the initial test, they did a good job at addressing that issue and it's worked so far. So 4 stars on the sturdiness there. Easy to use. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 5 stars out of 5 for easiness to use. It's a simple construction, the cord is long, it's got really easy buttons to use. Even though if it's not here, there is a cheat sheet that they created, which makes it a lot easier. I did have to use this because I couldn't really figure out all the symbols the whole time. So very easy to use that cheat sheet that you can remove once you get familiar with this unit. The display moves up and down, so they did make that nice and easy to use. Again, the slide out tray, and the most important feature, the automatic function. You can turn that on and off, really makes it a lot easier to use. Hoodies, again, you might have to flip it around to make it work, or sideways, and it did only take 5 minutes to heat up to 300 degrees, which is really, really quick compared to a lot of heat presses out there. I wish it did have a specific time that you can increase the press time to. Right now it's only intervals of 5. If you're doing mass production or something that's production related, each second is very, very important. So I wish it had the ability to tune it up to maybe like 7 seconds or so, something so that I don't have to go through the 5-second intervals. They wanted to make it nice and easy. They did a pretty good job. Intervals of 5, I can't complain. You can always automatically release it if you need to. Pressure. Now, this was a very sensitive topic and very important topic with the HTVRONT. Out of 5 stars, I'm gonna go ahead and give this 4 stars. That's pretty good. It did not pass my dollar bill test, but what I was thinking out after a very, very long time, it could be this pad here. This pad is pretty slick, it's pretty soft, it's cloth-like. I'm wondering if we change this to the rubber padding, if it would hold that dollar bill and solve that problem. So I'm not 100% sure, but I am going to test this again to see if that is going to be a cause, and that might make this a 5-star on the pressure. So I'm going to tweak my test and come back and test that out. But overall, that's going to be 4 out of 5. That's not bad at all. Now, heat distribution, I'm going to go ahead and clock this in at 3 out of 5. That's probably the area that I felt this lacked the most of, is the temperature. I know that the bottom is coated, and I am using a laser gun, so it is not 100% accurate, but it at least will give me the regulation and the differences between the different quadrants in the heat press. And I did notice some significant areas where it's a lot colder, especially the back area. For that reason, and I didn't get anywhere that was in the 300 degrees. I think it was ranging between 260 all the way to 289. So it was short about 20 degrees on certain areas. With that said, I'm gonna deduct some points from there. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. But I feel like in the future tests, when I retest this again, not only am I gonna do that rubber test, I'm also gonna increase the temperature to 325 degrees to see if that will compensate for that lack of temperature. It could just simply be a little setting like that that will make this difference and make this a really, really good press. So I don't know yet. Stay tuned for that second video because I'm going to be testing that out. Last measurement here, I'm going to go ahead and give the value score here. Out of a 5, I'm going to give this a 5. At $350 off of Amazon, that's pretty good. You're not going to find a fully automatic heat press for under $500 anywhere. I always was reluctant to do the automatic heat presses that are electronic because a lot of times they just lack that pressure, but again, they did a pretty good job at addressing that. It is a 15 by 15, even though the pad is a little bit smaller, it's like 14.5 by 14.5. I know the reasons why they did what they did, but I wish it was a full 15 by 15. Now it does come in 3 different colors. So you've got your white, you've got your teal, you've got your purple, which is nice for any home setup that you guys might have. It comes with a 1-year warranty on this unit. In conclusion, with this heat press, out of a 5-star, it's gonna go ahead and get a 4.2 out of 5. Now that's pretty good as far as a heat press rating. I would say this is a pretty solid pickup for DTF. It's not perfect, but there's, again, not much competition when it comes to an auto heat press under $500. Now, some of the things I did want to point out that they could possibly improve on in the future. First, let's talk about the good things that they did. They definitely made improvements to this version 2 units, which is really good. It's a good thing when a company hears their customers, they go back and they fix the problem and they release a newer version. You know that this unit's gonna be out for a long time. They have a popular unit. There was just a lack of pressure and they came back and they added some pressure settings for you guys. So good job to HTVRONT on that. I really think that they did a good job by doing that. They increased the height of the heat press. That was also something that they addressed. Really, really good. They added the adjustable screen as well, a nice little added bonus. Now, let's talk about the things that they could improve in the future. First, it's gonna be the pressing time. Again, I wish that you're able to incrementally increase the time based off of the seconds. And they also need to do a better job, in my opinion, with the heating coils underneath. There's just too many cold spots regulating from the back and the front. I've tested other 15 by 15. I've seen some really good results before, so I know that it's not just limited to the 15 by 15s having this issue. So I think that's something that they need to address, especially that back area. This pad here, I wished it was 15 by 15. I don't know why they always keep making it a little bit smaller, but 15 by 15, if you're using this, be careful with the edges and with the borders. That's something that I did notice. Another thing as well is they should include maybe a Teflon sheet to this unit. I didn't use it on this video because they didn't include it. I don't always use a Teflon sheet, but I do recommend a Teflon sheet because it makes things easier and there's less mistakes that happen with it. Some other thing that they can possibly do is maybe make a magnetic unit here, or some magnetic mounts here, or some clips here, so that you can actually just attach the unit underneath there. That would make it a lot nicer. I can probably rig something like this up using rubber bands or string to make it work so that you don't have to deal with the Teflon. But personally for me, that's what I would do and tweak to here. And I don't know if that rubber padding is going to be the issue, or the solution. So I'm going to be testing out a new rubber padding. I don't know where it's at right now, but I'm just going to go ahead and remove this pad here since this is softer. And I'm just gonna throw the rubber pad right on top and see if that helps out, because that rubber pad is solid from the top to the bottom. Every corner is sturdy, unlike this one. Now, overall guys, this is a pretty decent press. I love the automatic features. I would recommend this for DTF. But while I was making this video, I did see some areas that can be improved on. One of the things is that the 15-second double press seemed to be producing the best results. So the one without the pad was getting me the best results. So I'm actually gonna be trying to reduce and tweak that pressing time. I don't wanna do 2 presses at 15 seconds each. I think reducing that time to maybe 10 seconds, or maybe 15 seconds and a 10-second press would help out. I'm also gonna remove the pad, use that rubber pad. So I'm gonna be doing a few tests. What I'm trying to do now is, since I know that the test results were good, I'm trying to calibrate and make this fast for production. So I want to find the minimal amount of time that I need in order to produce really good shirts that I don't need to second guess whether or not it's going to have enough pressure or not. So again, make sure you guys watch out for that video. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more tests to this because I want to make sure that this works and is dialed down for production. Now, lastly guys, my name is Phil. If you guys need any regular DTF or UV DTF needs, make sure you guys check out our company, give our company a chance to earn your business. We've been doing this for a while and you guys might be tired of your transfers and you guys want something professionally done. Make sure you head over to our website, check us out. We definitely do great quality stuff. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope you guys learned something. Make sure you guys click thumbs up and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.